Wow, this is really good and it didn't even need to be. Look, we all know this is true. Sometimes a movie can be at least passable just because of the story it's opting to tell. The truly great films are the ones that combine a story worth telling with exceptional technical filmmaking, yes, but some stories are so worth telling that we can be glad to get them even in a thoroughly average form. The Hallmark Channel pretty much exists based on this very premise. So while I wouldn't go calling Hidden Figures an all-time classic, the fact that it chooses to be a genuinely compelling biographical drama when it would have been equally welcome as a basic by-the-numbers made-for-cable production is pretty damn nice to see. The story in question is a three-tiered biopic following a key period in the NASA careers of Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, a trio of black women mathematicians played by Taraji P. Henson, Janelle Monáe, and Octavia Spencer, who played vital roles in the U.S. space program leading up to the historic spaceflight of astronaut John Glenn, but whose contributions have, surprise, surprise, been largely overlooked by many historical accounts of the same period. So just based on the premise, you already pretty much basically know what you're getting out of Hidden Figures, a long overdue portrait of pioneers in the fields of science and technology, but also in the dissolution of American race and gender barriers to high-tech career fields imbued with an extra patriotic and more broadly heroic gravitas by its association with the dream of the space program. Hey, remember when that was a thing? And the film itself hits most of the expected beats, grappling with racism and sexism, dealing with segregated facilities and being underestimated by your colleagues, and during adversity, rising above. You get the picture. Kevin Costner is the good white authority figure who learns his lesson pretty quickly and makes a grandiose gesture. Jim Parsons is the bad white authority figure who learns his lesson more subtly. Mahershala Ali, who's just having a hell of a year between this, Moonlight, and Luke Cage, is the hunky guy who comes on board for a romantic subplot, all pretty standard. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with adhering to formula when it gets the job done of presenting a vital story. And if you can pull it off with solid craft and a good cast, it can in fact make for a terrific film. And while Hidden Figures is in no way the most startlingly original take on this kind of material ever, it's about the best example of a movie of this type that's come along in a long time. It's interesting, it's funny, it's dramatic, and you come away not only feeling informed about a fascinating moment in history, you also go home feeling inspired and uplifted. Not an easy effect to manage this particular year, am I right? And let's be clear about one thing. Yes, the main reason you may not have heard of these women before is the obvious ones, but it's also a little bit because calculations and number crunching are not themselves the most inherently dramatic of undertakings. So credit where due to the actors and director Ted Melfi for finding the right rhythm and staging to make paperwork, chalkboard, graphs, computer punch cards, and lots of paperwork cinematic and exciting even before all of the more expected exciting stuff with the rockets and countdowns and life or death measures comes into play in the third act. Especially since they managed to do so without resorting to cheesy hyper-visualization or overly visualized numbers like a lot of other movies about computer technology do. Let's be real about this. Every work of art has an ultimate destiny, and Hidden Figures seems to exist openly, even proudly really, to become a weekend cable TV staple and get continuous replay in elementary school classrooms around February. But nothing says you can't make a good movie in that context, and this is about as good as mainstream inspirational biopics can get. 4 stars, nothing wrong with this one. Go see it, have a good time.